Welcome, viewers. It's Mo from the Momentors Talkshow, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman and you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentous Talk Show, bye bye. Welcome, viewers, to another special edition of the Momentous Talk Show, a talk show for leading women from across the United Kingdom, a place where we are interactive. We talk about current issues with women who are leading in business, women leading in ministry, women leading in finance, construction, anything that you can think of. You know, if you're leading in that area, then you want to be watching Sky 589 every Tuesday at 3 p.m., where I'll be having a special guest and talking to leading women. And which brings me to welcome my guest today in the studio, a lady that I love and respect. Absolutely. And after reading her basically her bio, it really encouraged me, because this is the true meaning of adversity breeds success. So her name is Codilia Gapare. So ladies and gentlemen, just welcome Codilia Gapare to the studio. Welcome.
Thank you very much. And can I just say the love and respect is reciprocated.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So well, we are in the mode of love today. So, you know, as you can see, we've got our petals, and, you know, I'm sure as we progress into the studio, into the show today, we are going to be doing a lot of things around talking about love, and, you know, because it is the week for Valentine's. You know, we're celebrating Valentine's. So, Codilia Gapare, welcome to the studio today. So, this lady is a cancer survivor and now entrepreneur. So, I'm going to ask her to really relate to us how things took place for you to be where you are today. So, she's the founder of C Lash, eyelashes for people with chemotherapy, who are on chemotherapy, people diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
And just, you know, tell us, because as I was reading a story, it really intrigued me to see how things progress from being diagnosed with cancer to now being a powerhouse leading woman in business. So can you tell me a bit more about your story?
So my story starts, I always say my story starts way back in Zimbabwe when I was growing up. Because back then I always knew that I wasn't very academically gifted. And I always wanted to be a lawyer. And, you know, it's like, even though I knew chances of me becoming a lawyer were very slim, because I just was always bottom of my class. That was my dream. So when I came over here, I joined a company called Fleet Operations, and the manager, the owner of this company, encouraged me to do MVQ so I could go to university. So it was during this time when I was doing my MVQs, and I was just trying to get into university to do my law degree. I then finished my MVQs, applied, and I was given a date for my final interview. And that 10 days before that date, I had found a lump in my breast, and I had gone and I had had tests. But because there was no history of cancer in my family, I was only 36 years old, I was very active. I actually totally convinced myself that I didn't have breast cancer. So I was unprepared for me walking into Leighton Hospital, sitting down and being told I had a cancer diagnosis. And I don't know whether it was denial or it was a way of sort of like looking after self, or went to self-survival mode. Instead of sitting and talking to my doctor about my diagnosis and my treatment plan, I just picked up my stuff and I ran out, and I drove to Manchester Metropolitan University for my final interview.
Wow. So in the midst of all this, so you've just been given a diagnosis of breast cancer, you know, and it's almost like, you know, this is like, you know, that moment. So at that moment, your feelings were kind of survival mode. You went in autopilot, do you think, would you say?
Absolutely, because I remember, because I closed my eyes probably for seconds and I opened them. And then I said, so what are we going to do? So the minute he just started saying, so we need to operate, as he's talking, I am gathering my things. And it must have been quite unsettling, because the nurse is sitting there with a box of tissues ready to wipe the tears. And the oncologist is sort of like talking through my treatment plan. And this woman is busy gathering her
Packing the bags,
things.
ready to
So the nurse
go.
actually caught up with me just outside the door, and she said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I've got an appointment. I've got to go."
Right.
And she said, "Do you understand what just happened to you?" And I said, "I know."
Right.
And she said, "Do you realize that we need to talk through your treatment plan?" And I said, "No, today is not the day to talk about my mortality. I've got an appointment.
Wow.
I've got to go."
You've got to go.
And I remember just walking out. Not at any point did I wobble or cry or go through any kind of emotional breakdown. I walked straight into my car, as normal as can be, got in my car
And you were
and drove
able
to
to
university.
still drive to university.
And I did my
Wow.
interview. And that day would have been uneventful, the whole interview,
course.
except the last questions the last question they asked me, which would have been asked to anybody, was, "Is there anything that you know that might interfere with your study at the uni?"
Studies. Wow.
Yeah, and at that point,
Yeah.
I kind of stumbled, and it was so sudden that I couldn't think of a lie fast enough, because I probably would have lied, because I really wanted to get
Well,
into
you
uni.
weren't. You were in sort of denial mode or
Yeah,
survival mode,
absolutely.
you know.
So I kind of
yeah.
went, and she said, "What was that?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Well, I got diagnosed with breast cancer." And she said, "When you say I've got
Yeah.
diagnosed,
Yeah.
when do you mean?"
Yeah.
And I said, "About 3 hours ago."
Wow.
And
And I bet she was.
and she
What was
asked
her reaction?
me. Well, it's only when she asked me, she said, "So why did you come?"
Yeah.
And that question, for me, I always go back to that very moment, because that very moment shaped the person sitting in front of me, in front of you, because I then realized what I'd done. And I said to her, "I've worked really hard to get to this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
I have sort of like went from a kid who never think that she could achieve
Academically,
anything
yes,
to actually
yes.
sitting here in front of you.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let a thing like cancer derail my
Stop
dream,
you.
because my cancer is only ever going to be a chapter in my life. But this is what
It's
will
your
define me.
future.
And
Absolutely amazing.
I'm never going to be known just as the girl who got cancer.
Wow, wow. And viewers, I'm just really, really enjoying the story, because, I'm seeing here a woman who's been told that, you've got breast cancer, and the world dictates almost that you should have, at that time, they had the tissues ready, they had the
Absolutely.
counselors ready, the
Yeah.
doctor had the prescription ready for you, but you were in a different mode and zone altogether, because you were just about to go for what you wanted. You were going
Absolutely. And I think because when you've got different sets of values, and it's like you've been offered, probably you haven't had as good a chance as somebody else has had. When you get that chance,
Yeah.
you hold on to it. And not the horses of hell or Hiren would have stopped me from going for that interview. And I don't know, and you can't prescribe how somebody would react to news like that. People
Yeah.
react differently.
Exactly.
But for me, I'd been working towards this for almost 10 years.
For a long, long time.
And don't tell me that
That
something
mountain, yes, was gonna-
like cancer was going to stop me.
Amazing. So, this is really, a typical example of how adversity happened to you. That's a chapter right there. But, can you just talk to me then about, looking back? So what happened? What then started happening in terms of, obviously now we know you're the founder of C Lash. Tell us a bit more about this product and what it did and how it came about. What really intrigued you to start it? Yeah.
So I managed to get into uni, and what happened is when I started treatment and everything, I had to drop out, and that was the hardest thing that I ever did, because I felt like I'd let myself down and my kids down, and I had to find, because I started to spiral into depression, and I had to find something to hold on to, and I came up with this thing called Lipstick and Heels, which was I had to just concentrate on making myself look as much myself as I could with makeup and wigs and everything. The other thing is I had to work all through my treatment, and I never wanted my condition to impact my job. The clients didn't need to know that I was going through cancer. So the idea was to hide the fact that I was going through cancer treatment.
Wow.
And I managed to do that in all aspects except for my missing lashes, because when my lashes started to fall out, I went obviously and bought a pair of lashes. I'd never worn lashes before in my life. And when I put them on, when I took them off, they took my remaining
Hair off.
lashes.
Right.
And then after that, when I tried to put lashes on, because I didn't have any natural lashes for the false lashes to rest on, they just would droop. And then I just realized, it's like I couldn't really wear false lashes at a time when I actually needed lashes.
So they call it that light bulb moment. So you had a light bulb moment.
Absolutely.
That, that penny dropped. That actually, this, and I always say, where there's a problem, you need to be looking for solutions, because that solution is your breakthrough, and that's what I like about what you did. So then that's when the journey began of.
Yeah, and for me, the biggest challenge was, remember, I was not a very bright kid. So in terms of when I ended up working, I mean, I was just working like a 9 to 5, and I'd never even been a supervisor in a job. I'd never run a company. I'd no beauty background. So for me to even think about starting a company,
Absolutely.
which was bringing a new product to market and going against brands like Kiss and Eyelure and all those Adele and all those big brands, it was laughable.
Yeah.
So looking at me trying to do this whole thing, nobody initially would take me seriously. The banks wouldn't touch me.
Wow.
Nobody thought that it was actually, because I didn't articulate myself properly, but people initially just thought that I was just. But then for me, at that time, I was still going through cancer treatment. I was in pain all of the time.
So you're vulnerable enough.
I was vulnerable, but working on my idea meant that I had hours where I could escape the pain, and I was just in my world with C Lash.
Wow.
And for me, that was good enough.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, so what would you say to that person who may be listening? And if you want to call the numbers on the screen. If you'd like to talk to Codilia, ask her, about this is a lady who was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, on the same day that she was going for an interview for a law degree. And she refused to let that diagnosis stop her from going for her dreams. And this is a lady coming from no academic background, and worked 10 years to get to that point where she'd been offered a university interview. But, she refused to let that mountain that was standing before her to actually stop her from going what she wanted to do. And today we see her years later being celebrated across the media. She's now a multi-award, winning entrepreneur, National Diversity Awards. I've seen her on all sorts of platforms. And what, so if you would like to ask her any questions, I want you to call in on the numbers on the screen and get connected. Let's start talking. Ask her questions, if you would like to speak to her on the screen. So before I go on to the next segment, I just want to ask you, Codilia, from your then experience looking back, to what's happened, what's been the biggest lesson for you? In having started this, you're saying you didn't have any beauty background, you didn't have business experience, you were not that academic. What's been the journey like, and what would you say has been your biggest challenge in this trade?
The journey has been tough, but I'll tell you something, no journey that's worth doing is easy. So the journey is tough because it's a continuing journey, but it's absolutely worth it, and I wouldn't change any of it for anything. And I see a lot of times, because I do speak to younger girls and younger women who are trying to do something, and sometimes when somebody has started a business and they're doing well, they seem so like untouchable, and they look like they started with it all. And if you've got an idea and you've got nothing in the bank and you're thinking, how can I start a business?
Exactly.
I don't have money. Just start, because the people who've got it all do not know the problems that us small people do have.
Yeah.
So it's people who are trying to stretch a meal of 5 to feed 50 that will find the solutions that will actually help people. If you start and you start asking questions, you will find that there are people always willing to give you the answers. And once you've started, you're not talking about should I start or should I not anymore. You've already got ink on your paper. You're on your way to writing your book.
Way you're starting, and I can certainly resonate with you. Being an entrepreneur, starting a business from scratch to where it is now, and I always look back and I can never change that for anything. And the viewers, as you can hear from what Codilia is saying, is that if you're thinking of starting that business, despite the fact that you haven't got money in your bank account, or the banks won't even look at you, just really start putting your idea pen to paper, write that
Absolutely.
vision down, and you will be amazed at what that can attract. And certainly reaching out to leading women, we are always wanting to speak to you, to support you. So reach out to your network of women who can support you, other people who've gone before you,
Yeah.
because they, believe me, they're not as scary as they look.
No, no. I find that
Yeah.
women actually we've got this amazing ability to just want to build longer tables instead of bigger
Yes,
walls.
yes,
If
true.
if you go to somebody and you say, I'm trying to do this and can you help me? 9 times out of 10, they will.
Wow. So, I mean, that's absolutely amazing, and I'm really excited to have you. So, what is the future for C Lash? You know, where are we going from here? You know, obviously, I know you can't give me some information because it might be IP, but you know, where do we see eyelash? C Lash in the next 10 years? Where do you see it as the you know, as your baby? Where do you see it?
So we're not stopping with C Lash. Obviously, we launched in the UK last year, and last year, C Lash was selling so
Wow.
much that
Wow.
at one point we thought we were going to run out of product, and we
Wow.
had to sort of
Wow.
like really slow down on advertising.
Wow.
This year we've gone into the US, so
Wow.
we've gone into
Amazing.
Walgreens this year. We have a deeper penetration, like C Lash is available because
Yeah.
when we started, we were only available in a few shops, and now we're available in over 1,000 shops across the UK. So
Amazing.
chances
Amazing.
are your local Boots
Yes,
store
it's gonna
has
have
got
C Lash.
C Lash stocked in there. And
Wow.
like I say, there is
Yeah.
other things that we've got in stock. But then also for myself, my idea never started with just the lashes. My idea started with realizing that when people are going through an illness, people are concerned about them getting better
Yeah.
internally. But what you look like on the outside is just as important. So there are so many things beauty wise that people can't access because they're not well.
Yes.
And I'm saying you don't have to wear makeup, but
Yeah.
if you decide to,
Yeah.
you should be able to.
You should be able to. So these are some of the things that you're letting us on the IP there.
Yes.
That's absolutely, you know,
Without
put your
telling you
disclaimers.
anything, but
So, you know, this is what she's saying. You know, C Lash is now available in Boots. How can people connect with the product? You know, can you share? I mean, on the screen there will be the website, but can you just tell the viewers where they can find your brand and how they can possibly look to share your Facebook handles and things like that?
So obviously it's Boots Online where you can find C Lash or Boots in store where you can go and find the product, and Instagram is where I'm most available. So it's C.Lash by Cody.
C.Lash by
Cody.
Okay.
So if you want to find out, that's where most of whatever is happening with C Lash, you would find it on there. And really, it's and Eyelure, obviously, because I'm working in partnership with Eyelure. So if you go on the Eyelure official page, and it's Eyelure official, you can find a lot more information about C Lash.
Wow. Amazing journey, amazing story, and congratulations to you for not allowing any mountain to stop you for going for your dreams. And that's really our typical example of adversity breeds success. And well done on that.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for watching this segment with Codilia Gapare. She was sharing a story of having been diagnosed with cancer, but out of that she was able to then start her own brand for cancer survivors, people going through treatment that need eyelashes. Please do connect with her, do subscribe to her services. And which brings me to ask you to stay tuned. If you're watching from your city, don't touch that dial. Please do share Momentors Talkshow for Leading Women. Continue to watch as I'm going to be inviting my next guest in line with the Valentine's ethos. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. Welcome, viewers. It's Mo from the Momentous Talk Show, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman and you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentors Talkshow. Bye-bye. Welcome, viewers. It's Mo from the Momentors Talkshow, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentors Talkshow. Bye-bye. Welcome, viewers. It's Mo from the Momentors Talkshow, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentors Talkshow. Bye-bye. Welcome, viewers. It's Mo from the Momentors Talkshow, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentors Talkshow. Bye-bye. And welcome again, viewers, and thank you for tuning into the last segment of the Momentous Talk Show for Leading Women. And I'm right here at the studio on Sky 589, talking to my first amazing guest, who was sharing on how she survived cancer and has now started her own brand, C Lash, for eyelashes for women who are going through chemotherapy. But this segment, I have invited a second guest, Mrs. Codilia Jackson. Welcome to the Momentous Talk Show this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me, and honored to be here.
Great. And you look amazing in your red, which is just...
I know, it's the love week, right? We are feeling
amazing.
the love, you know.
So,
more with love.
And you know what, guys? This week, as you know, it's a Valentine's week. We've got the Valentine's going on this Friday, the 14th, if you do celebrate love. So I thought it would be nice to have a mini segment where we actually talk about, you know, love and women in leading positions. And, you know, how are we doing it? You know, how are we doing it in the homes, guys, you know, in our relationships? Because I know there's enough women leading out there, but in terms of leadership, what are the challenges that we are facing? So maybe I could start with Cody, just to really, let's get into it. You know, would you expect your partner, boyfriend, husband to be buying, you know, the special cards that we used to get when we were 16? The lovely chocolates, you know? Would you be expecting, you know, what are your expectations in this season of Valentine's?
You know, I'm sort of like, I'm a person who believes like Valentine's should be celebrated every day.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
it's one of those things that, you know, it's like if you've got a partner and you see them smile because you put that smile on their face, then that's Valentine to me. And yeah, if you get a meal cooked for you because it's the 14th, then it should be a bonus. But I don't think that people should wait to give love
for the 14th once a year.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Mrs. Jackson? You know, obviously you're somebody who's been married for a long time. This is what I thought. It was really an honor to have you on the show, because you've been married for how many years now?
Gosh, it's almost 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because my husband, as you know, did
Yes.
the lobola first,
Yes.
which is the traditional
Yes.
kind of our wedding,
Yes.
and then we did the white wedding.
So you've been together with this same man for 28 years?
Oh, all together,
Wow.
we've been together for over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because I knew him for 4 years. He was
Yeah.
my best friend.
Yes.
And of course, he dropped the bombshell. I was like,
Yes.
what?
Wow.
You know?
Wow. What a surprise.
4 years later.
What a surprise. So do you
Yeah.
expect, what are your expectations when it comes to, you know, Valentine's Day, etc.?
To be honest with you, I think first of all, I must say, because I'm very mindful that as we speak about love, there's someone out there whose heart is broken. There's someone out there who doesn't even want to hear the word. I remember when I was in my season of pain, so I want to be sensitive in saying what I'm about to say. I think first and foremost, Codilia hit it on the nail. For me, it's the love of God. For God so loved the world that he gave us the best of the best, which was his son. And that love, that agape love, is expressed through us, his children, on a daily basis. I mean, couples do things differently, but I want to encourage couples out there.
Yes.
Please, let's not wait for 12 months
Yes.
for that bouquet to come through
To
and that box
celebrate
of chocolates. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, my husband does strange things, but beautiful things like date night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So those
just
are some of the things
you
that,
know, it's like,
and you look
wow,
forward to that
I
as
know.
well.
Like 2 weeks ago, it's like, dress up. I'm
Yeah.
coming to pick you up.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm going to work. He says, no. He's done everything such that we'll
you're
finish.
just gonna have,
So he
yes.
took me to the cinema. I was like,
Wow.
wow. You know, from there we went to dinner.
Yes.
But then the thing should be daily. We should treasure each
Yes.
other because life is a gift, Cody. You know, when I hear your testimony, I'm like, wow. Every day is like, wow.
Wow.
Look around your families, not just your spouse,
Yes.
but your children, your loved ones. Just love on them.
Yes.
Because all you have is today.
Yes.
Tomorrow is never guaranteed,
it's
really
not
more.
guaranteed,
Yes,
is it?
so it's
your
love
message,
every day.
Yeah, so it's love every day. So from
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson, it's love every day. So we really need to be really cultivating, and certainly from Cody, from what's coming from the ladies, is that we need to be looking to celebrate our lives, our people that we love, families, partners, spouses, whoever you have in your life. You need to be looking to celebrate them every day, and not forgetting the love of Christ, the love of God. You know, he gave us everything. So
Absolutely.
guys, thank you so much, and I know we are running out of time. Any last words before we finish?
Well, for me, really, the burden I have is for that person who's probably going through a season of pain. It could be going through a divorce. It could be going through rejection. I just want to assure you that tomorrow comes. You know, I mean, there's the book I love. It tells me that the night can endure but for a night, but tomorrow comes,
It's another
joy
day.
comes, it's
Another
another day.
day.
You don't know what comes in tomorrow. You will meet that special person. Be encouraged today.
Be encouraged this Valentine. That's what Mrs. Jackson has to say. And as I conclude, thank you so much for watching the Momentors Talk Show. And will you be joining us next week as I speak to a special lady, Mr. Lorraine. Keeps posted. Please do tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, and head over to our YouTube page on Momentors Talk Show, where you can also subscribe. Make sure you share that button, and we'll see you next time. From myself, Mo, in the studio on Faith World TV, thank you for watching, and bye for now. Welcome viewers, it's Mo from the Momentous Talk Show, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentous Talk Show, bye-bye. Welcome viewers, it's Mo from the Momentous Talk Show, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration.